A little bit about why I'm involved. First of all, about 20 years ago, I had a company go public and achieve a $35 billion market cap, so that was a fun time. This is the first time I've ever felt as excited about a company as I did back then in the dot-com era, so I'm excited to tell you about it. We believe that the fog will disrupt the cloud, and we've created a decentralized, federated, ephemeral edge computing platform and marketplace. That's a mouthful. Let me explain it to you just a little bit. First of all, I'm going to go back. We're in Northern California. Let's talk about the 1849 gold rush. Entrepreneurs had a decision. Were they going to mine for gold, sell pickaxes, or create a marketplace connecting miners and sellers of pickaxes? Well, this has application to technology. Let's take the gold rush example and take a quick look at online video. Who's the miner? Who is it? YouTube, right? Who's selling pickaxes to YouTube for online video? Who's made a lot of money for the last 20 years doing that? Akamai, right? So what about marketplaces? We've got a lot of marketplaces. We've got Amazon, we've got eBay, we've got Etsy. There's other business models that have come to fruition, such as sharing economy. You can take suppliers and those demanding products, consumers, producers. Sharing economy has helped companies bring things to market at nearly a zero cost basis. It's exciting. Uber does not buy all those vehicles. They can outcompete siloed incumbents needing to build proprietary infrastructure. We're aiming to take down massive incumbents with Difuon. The shared economy's created at least $17 billion companies, 10 unicorns across a wide variety of categories. Let me explain what Difuon's doing in context to these technologies and these business models. First of all, I'll explain some computing layers. We all know about the cloud and the cloud layer, but a lot of people don't understand or know much about the edge, or what we call the fog computing layer. I'm going to talk about that in detail in just a second. But we also have another layer, the data creation layer. So we have all these devices in the tens of billions, a little over, somewhere between 50 and 100 billion devices right now in the data creation layer. And what they're doing, though, is they're sending all this data for compute up to the cloud. And then the cloud sends it back down. In the coming years, we're going to see trillions of devices connected. When it passes a trillion, it's going to be too heavy. The first rule of data management is don't move data if you don't have to. Moving it this far is an extreme tax. So we have the fog. The fog has higher capacity, it can be more agile, has better security possibilities, better privacy. A lot of advantages to doing this work in the fog instead of in the cloud. If you look at this, what we're doing specifically to Difuon is this. We are going to take from the data creation layer, instead of having it move so far, we are going to expand the fog with dedicated devices made possible because of ephemeral fog nodes that can come from disposable computing and the advent of Raspberry Pi type devices. We're going to get these out. We have deals to put these out into the market. We're excited about what's going to happen. And our software remotely manages this activity through consensus engagement and consensus federator and the remote management. We're able to take serverless computing and go down to the function level for nano and micro transactions and get the compute done in the fog. This has huge implications. Now, the revenue centers for us will be our escrow federation fee, where we're doing the job matching and taking a piece of the revenue from getting these jobs done. We also have a fee for different classes of service. If a job must actually get done and cannot fail in case there's one of the devices not functioning or not turned on, it can be redundantly sent to multiple devices for the compute services. We also have an application store fee. When we create this marketplace, there's going to be applications available, and we also have some margins that can be obtained through the co-marketing of these devices that will create the ephemeral nodes. Now, disposable computing is one of the important technologies that have converged to make Difuon possible. Difuon would not have been possible until recently. You can see for about $40, $50, you can obtain the compute power. If you were to purchase it from AWS, that would cost about $80 per month for a one-time charge of $40. If these devices last 2 years, that's $40 one time versus $80 a month. There's a lot of attraction to this model. Now, we co-market these devices, and right now we've got some deals where we're looking at potentially getting out rapidly, 50,000 nodes and growing. There's a lot of use cases. You can see here not just general applications, but we have Web 3.0, web backends. IoT is particularly attractive and lucrative. And it's not just regular IoT, it's also IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things. Also IoTT, Industrial of Tiny Things. We can even have mining happen at first on these, but foggers, as we call them, we'll find out it's much more lucrative to be a fogger than it is to be a miner. Difuon touches at least 9 major IT categories. When you look at this chart, you might think, well, those are competitors, but actually, it's co-opetition. What we have here are many players who will need our services to expand their offerings and to conduct their compute. We actually have deals we can do with most of these companies. It's exciting. We estimate that our total addressable market is over $20 billion. Now, these business models and technologies combined are blockchain, sharing economy, marketplace, disposable computing, and serverless computing. We're super excited about what we're involved in. Our technology portfolio is vast. We've been working on this for several years, and we have some more work to do. We see about 6 months until proof of concept and about 12 months to an up and working platform. What I'd like to tell you about is our founding team. It centers around Sam Smith, our CTO, and our inventor. He's a world-class expert in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. He has a distinguished career. He's on the technical governance board of Sovereign, working on identity. He's just transitioning from being Consensus's spoke leader over reputation, and he's been working on this for quite a while. This is exciting. He's also got experience in set it and forget it hardware that is remotely and automatically provisioned. Perfect background. Myself, I'm about value creation and execution. My history as a tech entrepreneur and biz dev, I've signed and done over 4,000 partnership contracts in my career. We have also Tyler, who is a tech entrepreneur marketing expert in the genetic software space. He created DevMount, one of the greatest coding boot camps in the country that sold a couple of years ago to a $1 billion company. Our team's been there, done it. We're a hacker, a huckster, and a hipster. So our investment opportunity, we have a dual token model. We think that this is the best model and the only way to really run tokens. We've spent months really looking at this. We think we've figured out a lot of things. We have an early pre-sale available, significant discount to a pegged value. If you want to know, come visit us. We'd love to sit down for 45 minutes an hour, tell you about our pegged value and how it creates a floor to the value of the token. And last comment, we have 7TK. 7Tech is looking for non-US investors that want to be connected to tech companies. We've signed a deal with them for a $3 million investment. They're in the back, 7Tech, wave your hands back there. Some of our availability of our tokens can come through 7Tech as well. With that, I'd like to go into Q&A. I think my time's up. Right. And I'm going to invite Sam Smith to come up with me because he is the inventor and he wanted to be up here with me and I want him to be with me. So there we go.
Right. I just want to thank you for waking up the audience. That's a wonderful thing. Thank you. Any questions for John? Yeah.
So I personally run a Bitcoin node on the Raspberry Pi and the Android X34. I guess my question is, what's the incentive of running a node right now in your project? Because personally, like for me, there's no, like it doesn't make sense to run a Bitcoin node. It actually costs me more than, I don't make anything. I'm just like helping out the network. Yeah, so I guess my question.
I'll let Sam answer that.
So you wouldn't want to run Bitcoin on a Raspberry Pi because you're just never going to make any money. But if you want to run Web 3.0 applications as a fogger, right, then that's a very lucrative thing. There are some other mining operations that you might make money on, but that's like the least lucrative thing that you'd want to do.
But the point of running a Bitcoin node is not to make money; it's to, like, as a node operator, I validate blocks. The miners mine. That's not the point. Making money is not the point. So, so that's the question. What's the incentive?
For you to be a fogger?
No, for any type of nodes, there has to be an incentive.
Yeah, you get paid.
Right, but what if
So the whole business model is that if you have spare bandwidth, spare electricity, and spare space in your house, and you want to get paid for that,
Right.
then you plug a box in and you start getting a check. If you put 4 boxes in, you'll get 4 checks.
Right, but
Up until you use up your spare bandwidth. So you're basically sharing economy selling your spare bandwidth. The average US household with broadband on a 24/7 basis uses less than 5% of their bandwidth. So you can now get your bandwidth paid for, because now you can sell that bandwidth to people who want to run compute data integration tasks on your hardware. Think of yourself as a cloud provider. Now the cloud becomes the fog. Everybody's house now becomes a compute center that they can then use to sell compute devices. It has nothing to do with,
okay, so
you know.
I'm sorry, just real quick.
Yeah.
What's your consensus mechanism?
So at the base layer it's a dual token model. It's an ERC20 contract. But then for the actual federation, it's a Byzantine agreement. It's a distributed Byzantine agreement algorithm, because we have to do nano transactions at very high transaction rates.
I just want to comment and answer your question too, the incentives on both sides. As a producer, you set it and forget it, and you have your hardware generated income, as he said. Also on the purchasing side, it's 1/4 to 1/10 the cost of competing solutions.
Right, good question. Any other questions? For Sam, for John,